Okay, so let us discuss about so actually in the big data what is required so usually for the data science so because with so for data science it deals with data, right? So it deals with the data and it deals with a lot of data which is called big data. Okay, so here, so if you say, so what do you understand? What do you understand about the big data? So as per your knowledge, so do you have
My knowledge,
any?
big data is like kind.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it deals with giving us with a tool or a kind of Node.js or something else. I am not exactly aware.
Okay,
So that's only my knowledge of big data.
okay, okay. So actually, this big data, so big data, yeah. What you are saying is correct. So we use some tools for the big data. So based on that, we will extract the data, we will find the data and everything. So here the big data is it's lots of data. So if you go to, for the basics, it's a lots of data. So maybe it is terabytes or petabytes, whatever it may be. So we need to deal with big lots of data and in the big data is so here so we have so the challenges we have the how to capture the data and storage and sharing the data and transferring the data and analyzing data and visualizing data. So for that we have the different tools. Okay, we have the different tools. Based on that we will work on that. Okay, and usually the systems so generate huge amount of data. So huge amount of terabytes or petabytes, all these things. Even so, if you see this document, so you can see that so New York Stock Exchange. So it only generates so 1 terabyte of new data per day. Okay, so only the New York Stock 1 terabyte. Okay, you can example how it will be. Okay, so then nowadays so we have much more data. So not only for any kind for any for not only for this stock exchange or any kind of business. Okay, if you go for the healthcare, any kind of business, so we have the data. But the challenge is how to store the data. That is a challenge, and how to convert the data so to in a useful manner. Okay, so from the raw data to the main data. So once we convert how to analyze the data and how to visualize data, so data analytics, all these things. Okay, so that is the main
Okay.
thing for big data. So then after that, so if you go for that, common big data customer scenarios. Okay, today we are just I am just giving you the brief about all these things and how the data scientists, the data science is so come into picture. Okay, so earlier the main thing was big data. So we used to hear about big data projects, all the things. Okay, so then once we have the big data, so based on the big data, we need to convert the data to in a useful manner and to improve maybe so it will be useful for the company growth or company revenue growth, all these things. Okay, so for that, so here you can see that common big data customer scenarios. Okay, so here you can use the government you will use for any kind of welfare schemes and any kind of a fraud detection and cyber security. So okay, even the governments will use for the law and justice, all these things. It's a kind of a government related project, and you can find the healthcare life sciences. Okay, in the healthcare life sciences, healthcare information and gene sequences, serialization. So all these things. So you can see that. So there are the different sectors and banks and financial institutions. So here, so they can go for the risk management, so threat analysis, fraud detection, all these things, and credit scoring analysis. Okay, so if you want to, so so you need to analyze the customer. How the so what about the credit score and so what about the so that loan or payback power of the customer, all these things. So we can analyze based on the big data. So and mainly, so if nowadays you are able to see most of the e-commerce sites. So you can see the Amazon, so Flipkart, all these things. So in the retail side, so you need to analyze. So there's the customer analysis and and customer sentiment. So how the customer feels, and nowadays, so customer is in so many social networks, and you can check the data of the customer. Okay, same customer you can see in Facebook, and you can see in LinkedIn, and you can see in Twitter or WhatsApp, whatever it may be. So you can see the customer, and based on the customer, so customer comments and customer way of thinking. So then we can decide. So this customer has the purchase power, and he can purchase these kind of things. He can't purchase other articles. Okay, so he purchase only branded items. He can't purchase others. So based on that, so we can derive that. Okay. So here, so not only these things, bank and financials, most of the service sector and manufacturing sector companies, they are using so big data, and also so they are going to recruit data scientists. So even so I showed you in the demo. So there are around 30,000 data analysts. Okay, you can say that data analyst and data scientist both are the same, but data scientist is a higher job. So compared to the data analyst. Okay, so the seniority like that. So here, if you go through the big data challenges, okay, what are the challenges? Okay, so data acquisition, so getting the data, and information storage and analytics. So you can what storage related. So these are the challenge. Data security. So okay, for example, so bank has data. So bank has collected so much data. Otherwise, company data, whatever it may be. So the data security. So how to secure and high variety of information. So different variety of information. If you are getting so different customers, so how to classify all these things, and high variacity of the so this is variacity and velocity. So okay, and high volume of the data, and information search and analytics. So if you see, and in higher level, so you need to how to get the data, and how to storage the data, and how to secure the data, and how to classify data. So these are all the challenges. Okay, so for that, okay, so getting the data using the big data, I am able to get the data. So that's fine. So I can get the data from multiple sources. But once I get the data, how to classify that one? How to classify the data to the useful information? So that is a challenge. Okay, that's why data science come into picture. Okay, you got it right. So any doubts as of now, Mr. Ram?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So that is the main thing. So once we get the data, so then so you need to convert the data to in a useful manner. Okay. So now data scientists, data science come into picture. So for that data science, more data usually beats better algorithms, because here mainly algorithms. Okay. So we are going to learn machine learning. So it's based on the algorithms only. Okay. Here in data science means, so you need to know mathematics and statistics, and you need to know some programming and some analytical skills. So if you group all, then it is a data science or data scientist. That's why. So if you are good in data science, because here in the training, so I will give you around 50% of the knowledge, but remaining 50%. So what you need to do is, so I will boost you. So I will show you path. So then what you need to do is, we need to go to, there are so many books, so many books, or so much material, so much data is there. So we need to drill down, and we need to know all the things. So here, so, and if you see, so okay, for example, okay, Oracle or SAP or any kind of Java. So anyone can go there. So anyone can go, and so say he can join and learn the course. But here it is not like that. So here the particular person, he need to have the analytical skills, mathematical and statistical, and also some kind of a thinking power, and some kind of visualizing data, and classifying the data, and you need to get some kind of a domain knowledge, all the things. Okay, so if you are working for the bank, so for as a data scientist, you need to know so how the bank works, and what kind of data bank requires. So all these things, right? So that means that you need to study the banking sector. Okay, if you are working for healthcare, because here, so what sector it is, okay, whatever sector it is, whether it's healthcare or banking or for any financial, so anything. So for any sector, so the process is same, but so you need to have some knowledge, domain knowledge. First, you need to, so whenever once you enter to particular sector, you need to you need to study the sector and you need to have some knowledge. Then you can apply all the tools, whatever we are going to discuss. So that's why. So why I'm saying is, so why I'm saying all these things. So here, data science is a kind of a good job in future and now and future as well. And so new persons will not come up easily. Okay, so the new persons means so they need to understand the scenarios. They need to have so first of all they need to have statistical mathematics background. So then some people will be filtered. So then after that they need to have some programming. So some people will be filtered and analytical skills and some so thinking and also domain skills. Okay, so that's why so you will not get much more competition so compared to other fields like that. But here you need to put so much effort and you need to go through so documents and you need to get much more knowledge here. That's what I can say. Okay. So here, if you go
Okay.
to what is data science, okay. So here in simple manner, so science of data science of studying the data. So it's just studying the data. That's it. That's it. Because once you get the data, so okay, so you will get the data from the so raw data from any kind of different tools, big data, all the tools. And once you get the data, so then so you need to study it. So how to study? So you need so then programming, statistics, business, all these things. Because here business means so you need to understand the business. Okay, so whatever it be. So if you are working for healthcare, you need to understand the healthcare business. If you are working for health financials, you need to understand the finance. If you are working for retail sector, you need to understand retail business. Okay, so that's why it's a combination of business, understanding, statistics, and programming. Okay, so programming I can say that so as we discussed, so you can have the knowledge on either R or Python, all these knowledge, languages, either Python or all languages. Because here, so using that one, so you can go through some statistical scenarios. Okay.
Okay.
So and also predictive is also prediction. So that comes under machine learning. We have the different prediction scenarios how to predict the data. So okay, whether it is related to the concerned field and so this customer is so it has the purchase power and you need to predict the data. So the prediction also important here. Okay, you can see that.
Okay.
So here machine learning, data science, traditional search. So okay, so here so if you club it, okay, whatever it is here, so this one, so in this canvas diagram, so mathematics, statistical knowledge, and subtractive expertise, all these things. Okay, so these are all goes to the data science. If you have the different kind of knowledge, so then it will go to the data science like that. Okay. So here as part of our training, so will help you so regarding the programming and statistical, mathematical and machine learning. So and also so we'll give you the subject. So how to improve your so domain knowledge. Okay. So domain means it's not a one subject. Okay. Because if you are working for retail, okay, you can work for one project for the retail and other project maybe it's a kind of a banking and some other project will be so healthcare because it's not a so fixed one, right? So then we'll help you how to improve that domain knowledge as well. Okay, based on the project and all these things. Okay, so here you can say that data science components. Okay, so what are the components for the data science? You can say that okay, as we discussed, you need to have mathematics and data engineering, domain expert, statistical, visualization, and advanced computing. All these things. So at the end, what I can say is you need to have some programming skills. You need to have some mathematical, statistical visualization, how to visualize the data. So it's a kind of a how to visualize means and so how to predict all these things. Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
yeah, and data science tools and technologies available. So what are the tools and technologies available for the data science? So this we can discuss. Okay. So here, so if we classify the data, so source data, store the data, source of the data. So and where so the source of the data and store the data and convert and ETL. So you need to convert the data, transform the data, and analysis data, explanatory analysis, and modeling and model and generate type visualization and model execution production. So this is the ultimate. So model execution is production. Production means once you get the main data. So that So for that, so we have the different kind of tools. Okay, so these are all the different tools we are using. Okay, so in the SAP also we have some tools, Redis, Oracle, so different tools. Okay, so but out of all these things, currently, most of the companies they are using either R or Python, because so we have so okay different companies they are providing so different things. Okay, but so others are the licensed versions. Most of other applications are the licensed versions, and this Python and R. So these are all the open source. That's why most of the companies nowadays they are using so either this Python or R language. These things. And if you go for the SAS and SAP HANA, all these things. Okay, these are all so related to license version. Okay, so we can go for for a data kind of data science tools. So we can go for either of that. So you can use either R or Python. Okay. So now let us discuss about data science multiple jobs. Okay. So you can say that so data science means there is one job like that. So so maybe some people may think like that. Okay, data science is a kind of a just data scientist. Okay, but here you can see as per other fields. So here also you can see different job titles. That means different jobs. You can go for the business intelligence specialist, data modeler, and data curation specialist, and metadata librarian, data mining, and market research, SAS programmer, data mining. So different things. Okay, and data journalist, data manager. So whatever it may be. So we have the different kind of jobs and data science job roles. Okay, here you need to data creator, data scientist, data manager, and data librarian. Okay, so and one more thing is it's not it's so we can't call this as a software job. So it's a semi software job. So I can call this as a semi software job. Okay, so software job means okay sometimes what we can think is so okay so because so software job we need to mostly work on the application only. Here so your application skill set should be 20% only. 80% is mainly mainly on mathematical, statistical, analytical skills. So okay, and it is not related to particular field. So okay, it is so you can implement this. You can implement for any field. So any kind of sector. Okay.
Okay.
So data creator. So data creator is so researchers with domain expertise who produce data. Okay, these people may have a high level of expertise in handling, manipulating, and using data. So data creator. Okay, so data science job roles. Okay, and data scientist. Okay, people. So this is kind of one data creator one is kind of job role, and data scientist different job roles. So here what we can see is people who work where the hey, you are getting any echo? You are getting any echo here?
No,
No, right? Okay, fine.
from my side.
Yeah, no, no, echo voice from your side.
No,
So your voice is clear.
very clear.
Okay, fine. Okay, okay. People who work where the research is carried out and in close collaboration with the creators of the data. So they need to work on the creators of data, so data scientists, and maybe involved in creative inquiry and analysis, enabling others to work with the digital data and development, all these things. Because here data creator is different and data scientist is different. Okay, data creator, so maybe it's a kind of a big data, all these things. They used to get the data. But data scientist is kind of a utilization of data, analyzing of data. Okay. So here data manager. Data manager is computer scientist, information technologist, information scientist, and who take responsibility for computing facilities, storage, controlling, accessing all these things. So these are all data managers. And data librarian. People originating from the library community, trained and specializing in curation, okay, preservation and archiving of data. Okay, this is a data librarian. So because it's storing of the data, so mainly. Okay, so data manager. So you can say that in the data science, so itself it is classified. So different kind of a data creator, data scientist. Yeah, or maybe so data scientist, and so yeah, so I can say that so data manager, and data librarian. Okay, so this, and here we are discussing about the data scientist, which is related to data science. So in the, so this data scientist, he used to get the data from the data creator. That means so he will pull the data from the data creator, and he will analyze the data, and he will convert the data to useful data. Okay, that is the thing. And so we can go for the analytics. Okay, so here if you go to the analytics and data science job growth, so here I can say that. Okay, so if you think from, so for the last 20 years, 1990 to 2010, or so yeah, so even current also, so because it's a kind of a so past one, so I will bring the current one as well. Okay, so nowadays it's a kind of a job growth. You can also check it. So I will send you some links. So the hard jobs, in US or in India also. So because what happens is, once the job is hot in US, so definitely, it is a kind of a cloning, right? Cloning means it's a kind of a copying. Okay, so definitely after 1 or 2 years, maybe, so nowadays it's moving, but definitely within 1 year, so you will get much more jobs in this area. And currently also, if you go for Naukri and type the data analyst, so we are getting around 29 to 30,000 jobs here. Because main thing, what I can say, so everyone cannot move here, because nowadays what, okay, if you see, so in 90s, okay, 90s, so that means that in 93, 94, that time, so even 90s also, getting engineering seat, it's a very hard. Okay, it's a very hard. So even so that time we don't have in in the combined state, so we don't have so many engineering colleges. And also if you get even 1,000, 2,000 rank also, people don't get the seat. So after that, what happens is, we have so many colleges nowadays. If a person get minus marks also, they are able to get the seat. And even the companies and the colleges, so they are offering, they are giving gifts, and they are giving some bikes or some other kind of things. And so they are recruiting the people. So because there are so many seats, so many vacancies are available here. So that's why, we have that kind of situation. But so if you correlate the same thing in IT or data science, so in the data science, so everyone will not come to the data science, because so whenever a person so not related to maths or statistics, definitely it's a kind of a filtering. And once, okay, even for the maths or science, statistics students also, if they are not interested in programming, if they don't write at least some kind of a basic programming, so then they can't show interest, and they can't survive. And even though, so if a person has, if he has both the skills, programming and then mathematical statistical skills, and he need to have some analytical skills, analyze the data, analyze and prediction. So how it will be. So okay, so this is the thing. And in future, so how it will be, whether this customer can purchase, and so how it will be. Okay, so based on that, so we can get the main data. So then only the companies will decide. Okay, once a data scientist so finalize the data, the companies or management will consider the data, and then they can start selling their product, promoting their product, like that. Okay, so that means that data scientist is going to play key role in any field. So I don't say that IT field or particular field. So this guy is going to play in all the fields, because it is targeted to revenue. Okay, so if you target for anything a revenue, so definitely if it is a cost effective, so then so nobody, so no one will, no one will take care of that. Okay, so for any kind of, okay, so for example, if you go to a company, if you give an advice related to sales, then definitely, so then they will immediately respond, and then they will appreciate. Okay, if you give an advice related to cost, okay, so they don't care. Okay, that's why. So here it is a sales related, and the data so will help to the company to promote their sales and get good revenue. Okay, So that's why most of the companies, so they are investing, and also they are interesting on this one. Okay, so that's why we need the data, and so that big data people and that data engineers will take care of that. How to get the data is not our job. Okay, so to get the data. Okay, so once you okay, they will get the data from different sources. Okay, whether it is a social network site or some other source, so you don't need to worry. So you will get the data from different sources, and that is the raw data. So based on the raw data, so how to derive that the raw data to main data is particularly useful for the organization or particular sector. So that is main job of the data scientist. So here we will use different statistical, mathematical analysis, and we will go for some kind of Python or programming to analyze all these things. Okay, and we can go for some algorithms related to machine learning, all these things. Okay, so then we will find the main data based on the raw data. Okay, so that's today's discussion, because it's a kind of I want to recap all these things. And earlier we just discussed about the data science, and so what are the facilities related to